Welcome back, everybody. We are gently crafting our characters. How is everybody doing on trade shopping? Do we feel
Adam,
good? Are we
Gus
ready?
got it. I can make keen taste happen
Yep.
by taking Scarred away.
Yeah, I was looking through the things and I was like, keen taster is pretty good if your character just has a talent for, because it's a call on for all the kind of culinary stuff.
Yeah.
And for poisoning stuff.
And for poisoning, yeah. Keen taster is good for like detecting poison as well.
Yeah, I think
Wait a
that's
second,
super rad.
this soup is already poisoned.
What if you had keen taste and an abnormally long tongue?
Horrific. You don't have the points for both of those, so I'm afraid.
Bring a lizard.
So, yeah, how are we doing? Is everybody good with traits? Have we spent all our trait points?
I think I've got all my
I just figured it out.
Nice.
Allow me to list them off because they're
Please.
hilarious.
Please do.
Okay.
We used to, just before you do this, for folks who didn't watch series 1, we used to do a trait review, like pretty on the regular, and every single time Andrew described their character's traits, I couldn't help but giggle because they paint a nice succinct portrait of the character. Let's see what the succinct portrait of your character looks like this time.
I'm misunderstood, always in the way, well-traveled, inscrutable, spooky. I have a spirit familiar, fey blood. I'm blind, and I have essence of earth. Oh, and I'm gifted.
Wow.
You get so many traits.
Yeah,
man.
jeez.
5 life path cheater. It's okay though. It's because you the skill, the stuff that the life paths you took are fairly trait heavy.
I have
Yeah.
really trait-heavy life paths. I don't have as many skills maybe as y'all.
Inscrutable. I take that as a challenge. I could scroot anything.
Oh,
Also, yeah, everyone was talking about how someone needs to do something scroot related.
There you go.
Got you covered. Got you
Scrooting.
covered.
God
right.
damn it.
Just wait until you come face to face with the high scrutator.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you're misunderstood because you're so inscrutable.
Yeah.
Okay, what traits did you end up with, Elf, for your character?
Broken, numb, off kilter, scapegoat, aura of innocence, and keen taste.
Nice. Let's talk about, because I don't think we've read Broken. It's been so long since we've seen.
You
what
get a
Broken-
-1 ob to like resist, or like it's -1 ob
easier
to
to
tell me
convince.
to do something.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of telling people what to do, Blue Jay, what are your character's traits?
My traits are Mark of Privilege, Your Lordship,
Nice.
Rapier Wit, Ambitious, and Well-Dressed.
Nice. So, are any of those? I know that your lordship, I think, is a die trait, or are they mostly character?
No, it's just you have to refer to me as your ladyship or else it's considered an insult.
Right, of course.
It's a crime.
It's a crime, is what it is.
I will have you murdered by my murderer.
The trait indicates the character was born into lower nobility, need not have led the life of a lord. However, birthright is that of a lord and is accustomed to being addressed as your lordship or ladyship. Failure to do so is an insult. And then, yeah, okay. And then what were your other ones? Ambitious?
Ambitious, Rapier Wit, and Well-Dressed.
Nice. Okay. So I'm actually not familiar with all of those, so I want to just double check and see if any of them have mechanical effects.
I don't think that they do.
Ambitious does not. Rapier Wit sounds like a call on.
It's for Duel of Wits, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it gives you bonuses for like rebutting.
No, and it requires a role playing thing. So keep this in mind. In a duel of wits, if the player can interject a searing bon mot while his opponent is speaking, he gains +2 die to his next verbal action. So your job while you're in duel of wits is while someone else is speaking to interject.
Them?
Well, not to interrupt, but to interject with like a harsh burn, basically. So.
Yeah, continue to be your snarky self.
Yeah,
and
you got to turn up the snarkiness. You get +2 dice, but only if you interject a searing bon mot. So if you throw in a sweet burn in the middle of someone else's statement.
Sorry, Adam. It's a bon mot.
Bon mot. If the action is a versus test and you don't win, you cannot use it again in the duel. That's awesome. So it's like. You have to scathing burn, and then if you miss, if the burn doesn't land, then right, awesome, okay. And then Dave, do you have your traits?
I do. So I'm a believer.
Okay.
I'm gifted. I'm mad. I'm tonsured. I'm faithful. I'm vested. I'm a zealot. And I'm demented.
You're the mad monk. I like it.
Yeah, crazy cult man.
So
It's gonna be great.
so of those, which ones are not character traits? Do you know yet? Because like gifted obviously gives you access to art magic.
Yep. Gifted gives me magic. Faithful gives me
Gives you faith.
faith. Zealot, I think, is a something for belief. I don't know what that comes under.
Let's see. So you have believer, right, as one of your.
Yeah, believer, and I have zealot.
Okay.
I might be like-
Does believer give you any? I think believer might just be a character trait.
I might be. It's a die trait. Believers fervently accept the truth of miracles and the power of faith. All faith obstacles are used against believers and made a -1 of.
Oh, I see. So it's easier to use miracles on you. So other faithful who still follow the dead God have an easier time healing you and changing your mind and doing miracle stuff to you. Perfect.
Yep.
And then, yeah, Zealot gives you an additional fourth belief that must relate to your cult or sect.
Yep. And I think Tonsured is actually a dice one.
It
as
is.
well.
So Tonsured, and we'll have to work on this together. Symbolically, technically in here, it's the character has symbolically shaved his head as part of the ritual of initiation into a religious order. You gain 1 die affiliation with a monastic or religious order. You're also authorized to officiate the rituals of his order. This doesn't have to necessarily be that you've shaved your head, but it has to be some real, clear, obvious thing that makes you, like everyone knows by looking at you that you are a monk of this order.
Yeah, and I think vested is also a die trait. I have a lot of die traits, it turns out.
Yeah, vested is Tonsured and vested go well together because you wear the choir dress, the vestment of procession, the priestly dress of the lower clergy. The right to wear it shows that at the very least you're a member of the clergy and gives you another additional die with the church itself and its parishioners.
Yeah, so I end up with quite good affiliation with the church.
Yeah, you happen also to be batshit crazy.
Yes, I'm actually mad and demented.
So mad is a character trait, and so it's just for the role plays, and then demented is
I think
you
it's
try
also
to
just-
suck out Harry Potter's soul every once in a while.
Wait, Dave, are you mad, bro?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, and
Demented-
demented. Yeah, demented is it looks like the same, or is that a die trait as well? I don't see it in the. Is it a codex one?
It's a codex one. Yeah, it's a wizard's trait. Let me just see. It's in here somewhere. Yeah, it's just a character trait.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. So everybody has their traits squared away. So the next thing you need to do.
I just realized who my character is.
Oh yeah.
He's what's he called? Betelgeuse Romani Conti from ReZero. Just realized.
Oh my god.
My brain trembles. It
I
does.
don't like that guy.
It trembles.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Someone in chat was mentioning that some of my skills, like astrology and apothecary, and writing, have like tools required.
Yes.
When do we?
We'll get to that when we get to resources. But
Okay.
generally, I think for tools, you're assumed to have the tools for your skill.
Okay.
But I'll double check when we get there. Okay, so now we got to figure out your attributes. So your attributes are derived from. Get ready to do a little bit of math. Your attributes are derived from your stats. So your health, for example, is the average of your will and fort rounded down, and then I'm going to ask you all some questions. So everybody's going to do this together. Figure out what your will plus fort divided by 2 rounded down is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the sheet will tell you, actually.
Yeah, it's got it
Okay,
there.
sheet will handle it. Okay, are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Does your character live in squalor and filth? And we'll go around and you can answer this. Does your character live in squalor and filth?
No.
No.
I mean, not anymore.
No.
I mean, at present, squalor
No.
is filthiness. Dave, does your character? No squalor is filthiness. Okay, all right. Is your character frail or sickly?
No.
No.
No frail or sickliness. Okay.
I mean, it would be ridiculous if I said so, given that I have the essence of Earth. Yeah.
Has your character been severely wounded in the past?
No.
I mean, are we talking like trait wounded?
No. Was the character severely wounded in the past? This is a question for you about your character.
Probably.
Okay. Subtract 1 if you've been severely
Cool.
wounded. Has the character been tortured and enslaved?
No.
Shit!
I think I've been severely wounded once as well.
Okay. If you've been tortured or enslaved, subtract 1. None of you are
Okay.
dwarves, elves, or orcs. Is your character athletic and active?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No.
I mean, I have to be.
If yes, add 1.
Sweet.
Does the character live in a really, this is italicized, a really clean and happy place, like the hills in The Sound of Music?
No.
No.
Okay. All right. So no one adds 1. There you go. So that's your health.
It depends. How delusional am I?
No, I mean literally, actually, not your character thinks that it's great. So that'll be your health. Okay. Now we're gonna do. Let's see what's next. Steel. So your steel is this is the thing you're gonna roll whenever your character encounters like bad shit in the world. When they have to resist horror or injury. This is how like stolidly together you are. Your starting steel is 3.
Hmm.
Do you have any conscript, soldier, bandit, squire, or knight type life paths? I don't think anyone does.
Nope.
No.
No.
Have you ever been severely wounded? If you
Yes.
answered, if
Yeah.
you answered yes to this question and you are a soldier, knight, bandit, etc., raise your steel by 1. If you're wounded but not one of those things, lower your steel by 1.
God fucking.
Okay. All right. Have you ever murdered or killed with your own hand?
No.
Ah!
Yes.
Wait.
With-
I
with-
poison people.
Yes.
Murder, poison. You can turn it on. Poison, you can
Okay,
turn it on
it's
and
poisoning
leave.
someone, murdering them.
Yeah. No, with your own hand. This is like stab.
Damn it!
I'm not.
strangle. Yeah. No.
But like if Elf poisons
I'm
somebody,
specifically
does that mean
asking:
Elf
Have you murdered or killed your own hand? Does anyone have a
No.
yes to this?
No, I guess not.
Does it
Yeah.
count if I kill them with magic?
No, it has. I think it has to be with your hands.
Just-
is with your hands? Okay.
With your own hand, like stabbing or like
I
physically.
think I
murdering.
have. I think I have.
I think I have as
All
well.
right. Have you
You
done
can't
so?
be a rogue wizard and not.
So what I
done
love
so.
about what I love about this is, did you do it more than once? The first one doesn't count. Have you murdered or killed with your own hand more than once in your life?
Yeah.
I mean, I was a fucking rogue wizard. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
Both of you raise your steel by 1. Have you ever been tortured, enslaved, or beaten terribly over time?
Yes.
If yes, what's your will?
My will is 3.
Okay. If your will is 3 or lower, reduce steel by 1.
God.
So it's interesting because if your will is high and you've been tortured, enslaved, or beaten, it makes you tougher. If you are, if you've been tortured, enslaved, or beaten, and your will is already low, it just makes you more scared.
Yeah.
Have you led a sheltered life, free of violence and pain?
No.
I'm looking
I mean-
mostly at Blue Jay here.
I don't think that like actual physical violence has ever been a part of her life.
I think your character led a sheltered life, free of violence
Yeah.
and pain. Okay, reduce your steel by 1.
Okay.
Have you been raised in a competitive but non-violent culture? Sports,
I
debate,
mean-
strategy games, and courting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raise your
The
steel.
courts.
Raise your steel by 1.
Okay.
I think religious debate counts, right?
Does harem slave count as competitive but non-violent?
No, slavery is inherently violent. Sorry.
Damn it!
But yeah, Dave, I think that makes sense. Like if the order that you were raised in, like where did your character grow up?
As
Looking at your like
yeah, I
life
did
path.
and Temple Acolyte. I think both of those two. Oh, and I grew up as a peasant. I was a
Yeah, see,
peasant.
growing up as a peasant, like I think the competitive stuff came too late for you. Like I wouldn't say you were raised in a competitive culture because you were born peasant, right? Like as an apt pupil, were you competing with other pupils?
I figure yes, because it's not you're not an apprentice, you're a pupil. So it's
Well,
like
Well, apt
bunch-
pupil implies that you have the potential to be a student. You were never a student to anyone, right? You don't have apprentice here. You became a mad summoner on your own.
I think
Because there is a
that-
student life path.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards no on this one, but this is I raise it to the group. What do we think? It's only 1 point of steel, but it's 1 point of steel.
I don't care.
I mean, I feel like you're talking about how they were raised, and if you were raised as a peasant,
Yeah.
and then like, I don't.
So that's one vote no, one abstain.
It speaks to the prevailing culture, I think, for me.
Hmm?
I think we've established that like a peasant lifestyle in like the city, which is what I'm going for.
Well, no, I mean you weren't in the city. When did you transfer from city? Because born peasant is not city, right?
Is it not?
No.
Peasant-
Born peasant is its own setting. Peasant is a
City
setting.
born is born city.
Oh, I probably should have picked that then.
Probably, yeah.
Let me just check how much I've got to change for that.
Sure.
I feel like if you're born city, given our description so far, it's a shoe-in for this stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you switch to city born, for sure.
Yeah, I think those are the two that are exactly the same. But
Would city be like non-violent though, in the way that we've?
Because we've described like
Right. It has to be competitive but non-violent. I
Yeah.
don't think you're going to get this point.
I really doubt
Dave.
it would
Yeah.
be non-violent.
I don't
yeah.
think so.
City, the way that we've described cities, if
This
you're not noble,
this is supposed to
not nice.
represent nobles being pitted against one another. Right.
yeah,
That
I
kind
just,
of
I
like.
just think born isn't the only one that comes into it. I think apt pupil is like I think between the ages of 8 and 11 is a much more formative one than between.
Sure. I just don't think like the problem with apt people as a life path is it tells us nothing about anything around it, right? Because it fits
just-
into so many different settings. All it says is that you had an aptitude for sorcery, for magic, and then it didn't go anywhere. Like you became a mad summoner. So whatever your apt pupilhood was, it broke you.
Okay, no,
But we can work that out. But I don't think it doesn't feel like nonviolent competition to me, according to the intent of the question.
Definitely when I was an acolyte, but by that time I was already like in my 20s. So
Okay. Has the character given birth to a child?
No.
I don't think so, but maybe I'm like that's a
I'm
question.
on the fence about this one. Yeah.
This is when you
Yeah.
pick.
Do I have children?
Not necessarily. Have you given birth to a child?
Right.
I think I have.
It's the giving birth. Yes. Okay. Raise your steel by 1.
Yeah, I want to have a kid and have a hateful relationship with them.
Perfect.
I want to have some little trash lord.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like having a child or having children, if that's the case, kind of raises the stakes for a courtier's ambition. Like, stop being half preggers. Jesus, stress.
So is this a yes or no to child?
Yeah, or you trying to get your kid on some throne?
Are we doing some Cersei Lannister type shit? Is what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You're giving
Yeah.
birth to a child. Raise your steel by 1. Are you gifted?
That's the thing. You got the kid out of your husband and then fucking killed him.
Have you? Are you gifted or faithful or an equivalent? 2 of you.
Yarp.
Yes. Raise your steel by 1.
do you get one for each?
No.
No.
It's just, are you one of these things? If so, by 1.
Is your perception exponent 6 or higher?
Perception?
Anybody's
No.
perception? No.
No.
Okay.
Mine is 5.
All right.
That's close.
Is your will 5 or higher?
Yes.
If your will is 5 or higher, raise your steel by 1. Does
I'm
anyone
still. I'm at 1 steel right now.
Nice. That makes sense. Does anyone have a fort of 6 or higher?
No.
Okay.
No.
There you go. That's your steel.
Okay.
Your hesitation, which isn't on the sheet, but you'll write it down elsewhere later. Your hesitation is just 10 minus your will exponent. This is how long your character hesitates when you fail a steel test.
Okay.
Sweet. 9.
Okay, let's do emotional attributes. Who has them? I think Dave, you have 2. We'll do corruption for everybody, and then we'll figure out faith.
I have corruption.
Okay. So let me find the mannish life path section, and Dave will do your faith in the dead god. You just died today. It's not your fault. So dwarves, elves. Here we go. The faith questions. Let's see.
Yeah, you use the same faith questions for the dead god stuff.
Do you know where those questions are?
No.
Okay, I will find. They're supposed to be in the emotional whatever section for the mannish life path. I just can't find it.
Faith, starting faith. When a player purchases faith, blah, blah, blah. Following questions.
Okay.
I will ask the questions. I am the interlocutor of this
Do it.
situation.
Okay.
Whom do you trust most, Dave?
What's that?
Whom do you trust most?
God.
When in danger, whom do you consult for aid?
Scripture?
Okay, ultimately, how can you best serve your allies?
Consoling them and converting them to my cause and my beliefs.
Great, so your faith is at +1.
The reason for that is there is only one correct answer to these questions. God. Each correct answer gives you +1 to your starting faith.
But yeah, answering God to all of them can be total bullshit also.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I appreciate your answer.
All right, so you you start with B3 and you get a +1, so your faith is B4.
B4.
All right, let's see how corrupt everyone is.
Wait. Y'all have to do corruption?
Yes, you'll have to answer the questions.
Oh, where's corruption?
I will ask them. I will ask them of you.
No, but where do we put it?
You would put it on where are your emotional
It's under in attributes where we've got health, steel, reflex, mortal wound.
stats.
You
and
fill in corruption on the line there,
Oh, okay.
and then it will, because it's a blank spot where you can put faith, greed, grief, hatred, etc. Dave will need to make another line in his character.
There's another
sheet
one.
under
There's two.
stats and
There's two
skills.
options.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Are you ready to see if you are corrupt or not?
Yes.
Ready.
Everyone's
Yes, I want it to be real high.
everyone's corruption begins at 0.
Okay.
If you have the gifted trait, +1.
Great.
If you have the
Yes.
faithful trait, +1.
Yes.
If you have the
Correct.
chosen one trait, +1. If you have any spirit marks, which you don't, but you can accumulate them later, you would get +1. For each point of orders, for summoning, you get 1. So I don't know, Dave, if you spent anything on orders.
What's orders?
You might end up spending these during. Let's read.
You buy them with resource
Buy them with
points,
resources.
but
So we'll do those. We'll do that later. So the two of you, keep in mind, spirit marks and orders will increase this. Now here's one for everyone. Have you ever prayed alone at night to remote unholy gods to aid you?
No.
Definitely. 100%. I have 100% done that.
You're like, God, you're a piece of shit. But if anyone else is listening.
No, anyone, hook me up.
All right. So here's the other question. Have you ever entered into a pact with a demon?
No.
Yes.
The little murmur. Yes. Okay.
no.
All right.
No, I don't think I have.
All right. So let's see. If the character meets the conditions for any of the above in play, you earn the corruption attribute. Everyone with corruption 0, don't worry about it. Here we are. A player whose character begins the game with corruption rolls once on the corrupted body and soul table to get a free trait. You may choose whether to take the primary or alternate version.
Okay.
Oh my god. For how many? For
You just roll once. If you start
What-
the game,
what do
you just
I
roll
what do I
once.
roll? What do I roll?
Let me get it here.
Yeah.
Is this
Corrupted
like-
body
this is a
and soul.
D100?
Have fun, guys.
I'm already at 4 without my summoning. I'm going
So
up.
here we go. When your corruption advances in player, when you start the character, you roll once on the table. Okay, the first time you can choose. The next time you have to choose the opposite category. So everybody roll. Let's see. Here we go. Roll 1 die and add the result to your corruption exponent.
So a D6.
Yeah.
Yes, if you have only if you have corruption. Blue Jay, you don't have to roll on this.
I'm not corrupt. Y'all
You're
are corrupt.
uncorrupt.
I'm
I get
actually probably like
5.
Okay, your choices. Oh my god, these are great. So your choices for the mark of your corruption. Your character is either lame or has a forked tongue.
I'll take a forked tongue.
Okay, all right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You take the forked
four.
tongue. Take the
Four.
forked tongue trait.
Ah.
4. Okay. You have either bottomless stomach or dreamer.
Ooh. Let's see. This is a trait or yeah?
Those
This
are
is-
traits.
yeah, these are traits for
I know
elf
bottomless
stuff.
stomach is that
I can tell you what Dreamer is.
consume more resources.
Dreamer. This character's dreams have a lifelike and portentous quality. The prime function of this trait is to allow the character to have visions in his or her dreams. These visions are always relevant to the game at hand. The player then becomes the
Dreamer.
intermediary for this information.
Dreamer's really good.
Yeah, Dreamer is
100%
fucking sick.
Dreamer.
Okay. Dave, do you want to wait on yours? Because you might be buying some nasty things.
Yeah.
Your results might go up.
Yeah. I'm at
Because
4 now. I might go up.
yeah, because you might be buying orders with your resource points.
Yeah. Apparently, you start with just the dead, but you get the others in play, not by buying them. But we'll check.
Okay, yeah, let's double check because if we're done now with it, then let's be done.
Yeah,
Spirit marks, I know you get later. I don't think you buy them now with resource points. Summoning, I got it here. Affiliated orders, starting orders. You begin the game with Restless Dead. The value of this order, no, you can buy them. You could buy the first, second, or third order with 10, 20, or 50 resource points.
What are the orders?
You're looking at page 333. So let's go on to resources. That's good. Now we have some things to spend these resource points on, so you're not just rich for no reason.
What? I want to be rich for no reason.
Well, you can.
Well, you can do
You're-
whatever the fuck
yeah,
you
do
want.
whatever you want. You're rich. Okay, so we've got emotional attributes. Everyone, your stride is, unless you have a trait to mess with it, your stride is 7.
Yeah, mine is 8.
All right, time to spend resource points, my friends. So you total your resource points. That's how many points you can spend on relationships, gears, property, spells, affiliations, and reputation. So, gear. There is a table in the Manish life paths section, and this is like D&D adventure bullshit, the kind of crap you just carry around. Keep in mind, you don't get clothes or shoes for free.
It's not.
I need hella clothes.
Okay, let me find the
I think
table
I
of
can
resources.
get clothes for free, don't I? Because I'm
There we
vested.
go.
No, vested means you have the right to wear them.
Hey.
So manish
Managed
resources.
yeah, 202. So that's like miscellaneous hoo-ha. Relationships. Now, relationships are really important. Relationships are fun and awesome. These are you making up NPCs that I have to include in the game. And we start, you can find them on page 94. This is why my book has multiple bookmarks in it. On page 94, you can see your relationships. Now, they start at an amount that's either 15, 10, or 5 points. That's how much they cost. And this is whether a 15 point is a relationship with a character who is powerful and plays a large role in the game setting. So like a member of the conclave of priests, a king of one of the various kingdoms. 10 is a relationship with a character who is significant or important. So this would be like a prince, a duke, a high priest, but not one of the council of elders. And then a relationship with a character with a minor role in the setting or situation costs 5. So 15, 10, or 5. Now you can modify these by making them more complicated. Immediate family relationships are -2. Other family relationships, cousins, aunts, etc., -1. Relationships involving bonds of romantic love are -2. Forbidden relationships are -1. So a bishop who pals around with a bandit king, for example. Relationships that are hateful, are rivals, or extremely unfriendly, -2.
What about relationships with my dead husband?
You can't. We've talked about this before. You can't really take a relationship with the dead,
Okay.
unless the ghost of your dead husband is around. Then you can.
So I could just say that that's a thing, but not buy it.
Well, here's the thing, Blue Jay, is that I have spirit binding.
Do you want to have a relationship with my
So-
dead
no,
husband?
I don't know. I don't know if spirit binding is for spirits of the dead. I think it's for
I
like
don't want
animistic
my husband
spirits.
around anyway. The whole point of getting rid of him was not to have him here.
Let me see about spirits because I want to make sure because there is that like who trucks
I
with
feel
the
like it
dead.
might be relevant, but I'm not
Let me see.
100%.
No, it's it's like animistic spirits, not ancestor spirits. You can't bind specific like individuals with spirit binding. That's summoning.
Okay.
Yeah, people are not spirits. But summoning can summon the spirits of the dead, the restless dead. But no, a dead person who has no agency in the world is not worth points to you.
Okay,
If you
so I
wanted,
can just
you could take a reputation as this particular dead man's former wife. That would affect you, but yeah.
okay. So I could just
the cheapest relationships are immediate family who you are romantically in love with and you shouldn't be, and they hate you. So
Wait. Can you be romantically in love with someone who hates you?
yes.
That sucks.
You can be in love with someone that you hate.
You
also.
described very early, very recently, actually, a relationship just like that. Cersei and Jaime, right? Like
Oh yeah.
It's forbidden and it's definitely hateful at
immediate
times.
family,
Yeah.
Immediate
forbidden.
family.
Most of the books they hate each other, and they're both
Yeah.
relatively important. So they're both
Yeah.
paying 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. They're paying 3 points for each other.
That's a lot of negative.
Jaime might have to pay more because Cersei's more important than he is.
Yeah, she is.
So you start with how important you think the person is, and then you buy off the value by making it more complicated.
Okay, so assuming my position, I probably live at like a residence of the place where we're going to be meeting.
At
You
the
know what I mean?
court?
Like, if there's a court, like
Servants' quarters or
live
something.
in servants' quarters.
I mean,
or something.
the jester, you belong to someone, right? So
exactly.
to whom are you the jester? Whose fool are you?
That's a good question. Am I like the fool of somebody very important,
How many
or only
resource points do
somebody
you
minorly?
How many
important?
resource points do you want to spend on him, right?
See, I have 25 resource points to spend after
Now,
clothes.
I was gonna say there's more stuff to spend points on, so let's talk about those.
Okay,
So
yeah.
there's reputation and affiliation, both of which refer to your social stratum. Your affiliation is loose membership to a group. So you might be part of a thieves guild. You might be part of a sorcerer's circle, that kind of thing. So this costs 10, 25, or 50 points, depending on how big or important they are. So if you're a member of a sorcerer's cabal, it's only 10 points and it's worth 1 die. If you are part of a pirate fleet or powerful clan, it's 2 dice. And if you want to be part of, if you want to be like a governor, a wealthy bishopric, part of a duchy, it's 50 points. But
So if I wanted to have a manor,
we'll get to that in a second. So that's property.
that's property.
So
not
affiliation is
affiliation.
belonging. You're a card holding character who belongs to a certain group. Your reputation is just how well known you are for certain things. So if it's a local or minor reputation, like the fastest kid on the street, reputation for being a drunk or a thug, a knowledgeable guide, that's 1 die. It's worth 7 points. 25 points is regional or notable, an old war hero, a lord, a captain, a famous bandit. That's
Do
2.
I have to buy that?
No, you don't have to buy any of this stuff.
Okay. Well, I am a lord in my other stuff.
You're a lord on paper, but if you don't
Okay.
buy a reputation, no one cares or gives a fuck outside of the fact that you are legally obligated. It's part of your character. This is externalizing this stuff. If
Okay.
you have your lordship, you could you don't have like extra dice to call on to be like, I'm an important member of the like House of Lords.
Got it.
And then for 45 points, it's national or major. Like
I'm gonna take a 25 reputation points with pirates and
It's random.
Just some pirates.
Okay, so that's that.
Hold on. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Can I have a affiliation with spirits, certain types of spirits, or certain group
There
of
are
spirits?
resource. I was gonna say there are resource points that get spent.
So I know that I can have like the bound or whatever with like a given thing. I'm thinking more of like spirits as characters than less as spirits.
So
as mechanics,
spirits
but I
are-
don't know how relevant that is.
Yeah, in the way spirit binding works, spirits aren't characters. Like there aren't. It's not like John the Fire Spirit.
Or there's not like a fairy court or whatever.
No, that's summoning is for that stuff. Spirits,
cool.
Spirits are the kind of unknowable animistic forces that exist all around us. The spirit of this river or those trees. But I think you can spend resource points on that stuff, and that'll be in your chapter. Schools of magic cost, if you're going to use sorcery, schools of magic are on 265. I'm going to let you wizards do this work on your own, but schools of magic for art, I think or are these just sorcerers? Anyway, read your chapter. Read the spirit binding chapter. Read the art magic chapter, and figure out if there's stuff you want to spend on there. And that will allow you to spend those points. And then lastly, you get to spend it on property, and it'll be in the list. Now, is anybody interested in having a bodyguard, squire, or apprentice, or a gang or crew? Because there's some special rules for that. But
I don't think so.
okay, if you buy a house, Blue Jay, like
I want an estate. Yeah.
Yeah, if you spend money on an estate, it comes with servants.
Okay, and I have some affiliation because of market privilege. Let me check that out.
Yeah, it's like a free affiliation or whatever because you're a noble. Yeah. So yeah, we'll leave this as like homework because it's like gear purchasing stuff.
It's a little
okay, yeah.
involved.
Yeah.
I've decided I'm gonna buy 2 orders so we can roll my thing now.
Oh, okay. All right. So what's your total for corruption?
6.
Jesus. Okay, let me get the corruption table.
Oh my god. Well, you got to roll the die, right?
It's a die plus 6. Yeah, but hang on.
I'm taking orders with a chief deity because there's one god and the sanctified dead. I just need to decide which order of those I'm going to pick.
All right, so you're going to get a new trait.
Right.
Go ahead and roll a d6 plus 6. A 7. Your character is either diseased or tough. You can take a look at the traits too, because they have effects. You could also have had an aura of malevolence, or cilia, or spines, or fur, or no tongue, or tentacles. Actually, you couldn't have gotten the tentacles.
Oh.
You're
Listen,
not corrupt enough.
Once you have more corruption, you can become an amoeboid if you want. So just it'll happen. Disease.
This is like some Dark Souls shit.
So you can accumulate situational tests for corruption are earned through actions in play. You mark down advancements in the same way you do a steal. So, for example, anyone with corruption, lying is an OB1 corruption test. Casting a spell is an OB1 corruption test.
Lying.
Oh. But very quickly, OB1 will become irrelevant.
Okay.
Once you get to corruption, like 2 or 3. Learning new
it's a
spells.
good thing I have falsehood.
Learning new spells, physically harming other people, summoning demons for any reason, mutilating animals or humans, murder for any reason, being marked by a demon, torturing people, etc., etc. It's an OB10 corruption test if you ever sell your soul to an otherworldly power. So be on your best behavior.
But I love selling my soul.
I feel like so I either take the bad one now, or when I rank up, I take a bad one later.
So what it means is that if you take tough, next time you have to take the one in the left column. Then you can go back to whichever.
Okay, where's the table?
261 in the codex.
Yeah, because I feel like it makes sense for a short-sighted, like power-hungry dude to take the good one now.
Mm-hmm. Well, your character doesn't know that he had a choice.
No, that's true. But like, however, he got this.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I can rank up and I can roll really well and get enlarged venom sacs. Yeah, I'll be tough for now.
Suddenly your character has this like weird bullfrog like sort of growth under his neck and keeps spitting into a cistern.
Yeah, not just tough, dude. Tough rounds you up when you're determining your mortal wound.
Yeah, because we're about to do that. So if you want to take tough.
Okay.
So for you, Blue Jay, just for a future point when you're spending your stuff.
Yeah, where is it?
Where's what?
Property.
Oh, property is under gear, I believe. It's on page. Ow. It's on page 205.
205. Okay.
Yeah. So if you want a castle or a fortress or moderate estate, it's 60 points.
Okay. Cool.
Or 45 points for a large business or keep. But part of what you get in addition to like actually just like getting a castle or a keep or whatever is your starting resource skill, your stat that you roll to get more stuff You total the points you spent on property, reputation, and affiliation. Only those things, and then divide by 15. So by buying a 45-point estate, you're going to start with 3 resources no matter what.
Okay. So I see it.
The more you spend on this, the higher your general resources will
So
be.
30 RPs is a manor or estate.
Yeah, which would give you 2 resources to begin with.
Okay.
And then more stuff to spend. But honestly, like, your character you're not likely going to spend, like, if you look, a skill tool set you'll need to perform astrology and what have you. Though I don't know if that's true if you need the skills for forking those things, but maybe.
You don't need the tools to fork them. You just need the tools to craft things with
There
them.
we go.
So
Right?
I
Because
would need-
I know things about astrology, and I'm using that relevant knowledge to make this thing.
In
better.
the regular list, things you might be interested would be like finery, clothes, shoes,
Mhm.
and
finery.
then property. Cash is interesting because every 6 points you spend is a kind of ablative die you can use to spend on resource tests later. So you
Wait,
have a
it does-
vault with some money in it.
Oh, finery is up here. Okay.
And that's all
I
you-
can just buy a shitload of finery. Like, just-
one purchase of finery gives you all of the requisite finery that your character would need.
Yes,
Just like
all
when
the
you buy
finery.
clothes, it's not just one outfit.
many
it's like the
pretty
range of
dresses
clothes
for
you
different
require.
occasions.
Many pretty dresses is only 5 resource points.
Correct.
Okay.
That's true.
Do I have to buy shoes if I buy finery?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay.
Shoes are explicitly their own thing.
Also, not having clothes and only having finery says a very specific thing about your character.
Right.
Clothes is only 1 resource point.
Yeah. So now there you go.
I'm just saying, like, if you didn't buy it, it means you could only dress fancy ever under
Well,
any circumstances.
I'm well dressed.
Yeah.
I've got clothes and shoes and nothing else right now.
Hi. Yeah. One of you was not
Okay.
born a slave.
So it's like 30 RPs for a regular estate
Yep.
and 75 for a large estate.
Yes. 75 is a very
I don't want to
large-
have just a regular estate.
So, like, when we say estate, we don't mean like a single house. We mean several buildings, fairly considerable acreage, and
Yeah, like
all
your
of the people
grounds
and
and
all of the
stuff.
people that tend the grounds and to the house. As part of
Okay.
it. Now,
Property
however,
purchase comes with appropriate staff.
you have to
buildings,
make
and
resources
accoutrement.
tests to maintain it over time,
Mhm.
unless you want
Okay.
to live in a.
And then
faulty,
you also buy relationships and affiliation with
yes.
stuff. So if I wanted to be an important lord, well, because I already have the +1 die affiliation with nobility,
So
right?
you could have an affiliation with the church. You could be known as a pious lady. You could have an affiliation with the Merchants Guild and be known as someone who, like how Downton Abbey do you want to be here?
I don't know.
I mean, your points, yeah, like reputation and affiliation will paint how the world sees your character.
Okay, yeah, I'll do the homework.
Yeah, and you can think about that. Let's do a little bit more quick math before we finish, and then we'll talk about beliefs in the interim, and we'll cover everyone's beliefs when we start next time, because you really kind of have to understand what your character is about before we get into the beliefs. So you might want to have some time to sit with your character between now and then. So the last stuff we need to do real quick for character creation is we'll skip resources and circles, but don't let me forget it for next time, because those are reliant on what you spend. We'll do your physical tolerances. So on the combat section of your character sheet, this is mathematically or mechanically maybe the most confusing part of the game. So if it doesn't make sense now, that's okay. Go to the combat section of your sheet. See that? Mm-hmm. That's your hit points. That weird grayscale thing. When you get hurt, I will tell you take a wound of a particular type. I'll say you take a B5 wound or a B3 wound. Lower numbers are better. If I ever tell you take a gray or white wound, you might as well just throw your character sheet in the trash.
Okay.
So what we do is we figure out your character's mortal wound, which is based on your...
I think it's already been...
Yeah, it should calculate. It's
It
the average of
calculates it
power
for
and
us.
fort, rounded down, +6.
Okay.
So that's your mortal wound. So find that on the chart
Mm-hmm.
and and change that BR to an M.
M?
Yeah. See at the top, you can click it and turn it into an M.
Yep.
Because I am tough, mine goes up by 1 because
Correct.
you normally round down,
Yeah.
but I round up.
everything to the right of that M is an M. So if I ever tell you, for example, you take, I don't know, what's your mortal wound?
B9.
If I ever tell you take a B9 through any number higher than 9, your character is dying. You've taken a mortal wound. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, God just took a B16 wound, and that's how it goes. Okay, so your superficial wound, which is SU on the thing, superficial wound is equal to half your fort, rounded down, +1.
Half your fort. +1. Okay.
2.
3.
Okay.
And anything below that, I'm assuming?
Yeah, SU is that, and anything below it
Okay.
is a superficial wound.
So fort round divided by 2, rounded down, +1.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the other 4, light, meaty, severe, and traumatic, you place them in order from left to right between superficial and mortal.
Light, midi, severe.
And you can set them apart by up to half your fort, rounded up. Typically, the only gaps are between superficial and light to midi. You want the gaps to be as far left as you can. It's complicated. I know. It'll make more sense when we actually use it in play, but we just need to get the coordinates squared away now. It used to be a circle. It was this whole...
Essentially, just from right to left. So starting at your mortal wound, put your traumatic wound next to it, put your serious wound next to that, put your midi wound next to that, put your light wound next to that, leaving as much space as you can between superficial and light, and then see if you need to fudge things. Very likely you'll end up like me, where it's superficial, light, meaty, serious, traumatic, mortal.
Yeah, it escalates very quickly.
Okay, so if I have 5 spaces in between for those 4 things, then I get 2 light wounds, or
You would want 2 superficial because those are the least.
I have no, but I have the superficial we marked out off.
Or sorry, 2 light. Yeah, no, you're right. We have to go boom. Yeah, so that's how you would want to.
Oh, there are bruise levels. Okay, the sheet's been updated since last time we used them. Anything left of superficial, put BR. It's just a bruise. It doesn't do anything.
Okay.
Yeah, and then anything right of mortal, still mortal.
Just all of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So there's a little
essentially-
square in the middle where you'll get beat up and then die. But
And to give some context to this, like tougher characters will have a larger range and it'll be moved more to the right.
yes.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
could
So-
you can take more superficial and light wounds as a tougher character.
Yeah, so I have 3 marked as superficial since I have a B10 more.
So you might need to like shift things, Dave,
Wait.
because I don't think anything can be that far apart.
Yeah. So the rule here is they can only be as far apart as I just changed the page.
Oh, okay, so I should have 2 light. Right, okay.
Yeah.
So bruise, superficial, light, midi, serious, traumatic. Mortal.
Yeah, I'll take a look at Elf and Blue Jay at your character sheets.
Yeah,
Make sure
I
you
don't
got it
know
right.
if
I have no idea what I'm doing.
It's okay. It's complicated to sort out, but after that, it's not so much.
Yeah, it's not intuitive initially, but
should I have 2 superficial and 1 light, or
It
2?
depends. I can't tell just by answering that now. Let me look at the. Can't tell who's who on these character sheets. Okay, Dave, you're done.
no, my character's name is Ipsum Doler.
You're good. The Lady Ipsum. Okay, so Ayahuasca Refoso. All right, so your mortal wound, you've got squared away. It's B9, right?
Yeah.
And then your superficial, you get that figured out. It's B2.
Yeah, it's B2.
Okay. So now you have to plug in your other wounds from basically from right to left as you go. So your light, midi, severe, and traumatic are placed in order from left to right between superficial and mortal. You can set them apart by up to half your fort, rounded up. Typically, the only gaps are between superficial and light, and midi. So how many? Let's see. Your traumatic, your serious, and your midi. Yeah, no, you did it right. You're good. You have
Okay,
two
all
lights,
right.
2 midis, a severe, a traumatic, and then you're dead. Okay, perfect. All right, so you're good. The thing is, you'll pass out long before you get to mortal if you're getting poked, so it's fine. And then, who's this? This is Todd. Todd Quihejo. Okay, so Todd Quihejo.
My superficial starts at B3. My mortal's at B9. I have only 1 like gap space or whatever, and I don't know if it's supposed to be superficial or light.
Let's see. Your mortal is. Oh, you have the same M9, right?
Yeah.
So the two of you should. The two of you should have the
but
same.
different superficial wound. I'm B3, not B2.
Right. So you're actually a little less tough. Okay. So yours, you've got superficial, light, midi severe traumatic. Yeah, yours is jammed in one more. You have one less space, so you're fine. So you're
Okay,
superficial,
so two
superficial.
superficial. It doesn't have to be like two of the more traumatic one or whatever.
No.
Okay. Obviously, I want less of the worse wounds.
Or sorry,
It should be one superficial, two light.
one's too light. Yeah.
Too light. Okay.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
should be.
because
Yeah,
you can think of the superficial and mortal as like the bookends, and then
Okay.
the spectrum happening in between.
Yeah,
Okay.
got it.
Yeah, I screwed that up. That's my bad.
Okay, superficial, light. Okay, and then bruise, superficial, light, midi, severe, traumatic, mortal. Okay, good. We're free. We're free of that part. It's done now.
Okay.
So now, if you all do your resources homework, we will put together beliefs and instincts next time. Now, I would love to take the time that it would take to like sit down and actually work out beliefs and instincts and everything, but we should do that at the beginning of next session because it's complicated and it's the most important thing about the characters. So we can spitball a little bit, but I want to like walk through it together at the beginning of the next one. So we'll take our
Instinct. Whenever someone talks about God, laugh.
Just laugh uproariously.
Yeah, we'll go over all of that stuff and how much it works. But yeah, character creation is an engaging process in this because the character is the most important thing in the game. So, yeah, and I'll check. Well, don't worry, everybody. I know that people are like superficial, light, superficial, midi. We'll check. We'll double check all of this stuff. Don't worry. I'm not putting a final pin in it. It all needs to get finalized. So don't worry. We'll look over it. Thank you for your help. Let's do some shout outs and then we'll call it a day. Throw some beans at some zombies. Elf, do you wanna go first? Where can people find you when they are searching for you upon the internet?
Well, now that I'm freed from harem slavery, you can find me at twitch.tv/distractedelf or on Twitter at distractedelf, where I am at. And like after this, not a short time after this, we're doing some Mouse Guard, me and Blue Jay on Eric Vulgaris' channel. So, check that out. That'll be my short outro for before I have a character to character at you.
Excellent. Blue Jay, why don't you go next?
I'm Blue Jay. I took a lot of manipulative skills, so unless you want me to make you do something, like go to my channel, you should just do it out of your own free will. Twitch.tv/BlueJay, Twitter, BlueJay_712. And after this, our last episode of Mouse Guard, where we will kill the dragon or probably die trying. That's at 5 p.m. Pacific, so earlier than it has been starting for anyone. And then, that's me.
Excellent stuff. Dave?
Hello. I'm super excited about this series, and I'm even more excited now I have this horrific character. I thought the one I'd made a few weeks ago was bad, but he makes him just look like a little teddy bear. It's so good. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can at Dave_the_Unsickhuman. That's probably it.
All right. Andrew?
That's me. You can find me on Twitter at Commuting Crow or on twitch.tv/actualfactual. I'm almost done the playtest package for my role-playing game, Girl by Moonlight, which is a magical girl anime hack of Blades in the Dark. I'm going to be working on that tomorrow for a lot of the day because I'm trying to get it all done. So keep an eye on my Twitter, and you can watch me work on my game live on Twitch, which is a thing that I do. That's me.
Good stuff. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, everybody. Good character creation. Y'all are going to be a bunch of very weird weirdos. I'm very excited to see how this group plays out. Burning Wheel, it's fun to read and it's cool to think about, but it doesn't really come alive until you have a situation and some characters to goof around in it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what these characters get up to. It's gonna be a mess. So we'll carry on next week. We'll finish off beliefs and then we'll get started with the campaign. So make sure to tune in then. Normally tomorrow we would be playing the Sprawl here, but I am guesting on Wizards of the Coast's like all weekend. They're like Friday, Saturday stream of Annihilation. I understand I'm going to be playing a frog creature of some kind tomorrow. So you'll be able to check that out.
You got to play what you know, right, Adam?
Exactly. You'll be able to check that out on their channel. I'm also doing a one shot of a game called Tales from the Loop. If you like watching The Burning Wheel on this channel, if you're familiar with Series 1, I'm playing that with Austin Walker and some other excellent role players. So that's happening Saturday afternoon. I'm going to do some prep for that tonight on my channel. You can find me at twitch.tv/Adam Coble. You can see all of our Twitter handles down below. So if you want to send us wise suggestions or ask questions with the character, Twitter is the best place to get at us. Cool. That's it. We are out. We will see you next week for more Burning Wheel. Thanks for coming, everybody. Bye.